soft and sharp red. I like this a lot. It's much different than I would have anticipated. One of those decks you just don't know you're gonna get until it comes, and I really enjoy that background. It reminds me of a little bit of an Asian, more I think Middle to East Asia type of pattern, or just a rug that you see at a friend's house, minus the blue. You know what I mean? Anyway, as we shuffle up, please get yourself nice and comfy. Let's see, I think tonight will be a simple night. Sweet and simple. Maybe a win, maybe a fat stack. Let's find out. I don't know why, but this background is very relaxing to me, very pleasing to the eye, and it's making like the touch of the cards more satisfying, if that makes any sense. And our third play. Triple fours, double fives on the field. Oh man. Well, let's go with this one, as we lose two potential fat stacks, but help our chances at a win. I think we should hold out for a potential red king instead. And there it is. And now we are just one blue two away from a fat stack to start off our night. That sucks. That really sucks. So despite that great start, 10 king, nowhere to go. No 2 to build there. Double sixes, 8s, 4s. We can't do anything to win this one. So we have to clean it up and move on to our next. Double 2s and double 3s did the damage. Blue specifically. Alright, so a couple nights ago, I was doing something, just enjoying myself. Actually, probably within the last week, I should say. So, like, for those of you who've seen, like, the older videos, like, of the past, like, 3 weeks or so, I've just been trying to, find more moments of peace and relaxation. And one of the things I've done was I went back to playing an old video game that I've never played before, except during like 2021. And one of my favorite video games growing up was called Shining Force on the Sega Genesis. It was an old RPG around the early 1990s. And it was just very enjoyable for me to strategize and just to grind levels. And what I decided to do was play the predecessor to that called Shining in the Darkness. And it is a very fun game. It's from like the early 90s, maybe like 1990 exactly. Graphics are really low. And it's a lot of imagination play. But it's still at, oh my, triple tens. It has that experience leveling up type of feel. Fantasy adventure. So I decided to just play it one night for like 4 hours. And while playing it, I thought to myself, I am such a nerd. And I just started laughing to myself. Because at the same time I was watching YouTube. Smosh Games, Sword AF, Dungeons and Dragons. And I was just having such a pleasant time. Triple fives and triple tens were screwed. And I just couldn't believe how much of a nerd I was being, but it was honestly very enjoyable. I have not played the game since, because I think I got it out of my system. But it was a very funny moment looking at what I was doing. Never would I have thought I would watch a Dungeons and Dragons video on YouTube. It was actually really fun. And actually enjoyed watching Dread, which is kind of the same idea. And I remember telling myself, like in high school, that there were a couple things I should stay away from, not because I didn't like them. It's just I know I could get into it type of thing. And one of those things were Dungeons and Dragons and musicals. Funny enough. Isn't that such like a weird list? And obviously being a dude, that has its own connotations to whatever you may think, but I really don't care. I think all of them are fun in their own way. But if you have any like video recommendations for like a D&D group, I wouldn't mind trying to watch one, but it was easy to start with Smosh before anything, with those goofballs, or any easy to access musicals that are interesting. I like more of the... Actually, I don't know what I like, so I'm open to explore that a bit, as it looks like that's the end of our second game. Let's do our double check. 6, 7, 4, and king. Can't do anything with that too. So we move on to game number 3. Down from the start. I mentioned that story or experience from the past week because it's just so interesting. The little instances in life where you could just laugh and just be in complete enjoyment where you never thought you would be. And just watching, I think it was a 9-hour video of D&D, of them playing, while playing a game from 35 years ago about, and not having any care and just letting yourself stay up all night, not worry about work or school, whatever it may be, was really calming. For whatever reason, before we get into the decorating, I find it very hard for myself just to relax on my own. I always want to feel like I'm making progress towards something in the day. And a lot of times that could be very frustrating when patience is the #1 factor. I think that's why it's easier for me to play an RPG type game or games with lots of leveling up, since you have that immediate feedback response. They know what they're doing. But even knowing that, it's still hard just to truly enjoy playing a game. 999s now. Unless you're with a friend, you know what I mean? I guess I played a lot of solitary stuff growing up. And then when you incorporate people you care for, it just makes it so much better that you'd rather just kind of wait as opposed to do it on your own. At least for me. Anyway, enough of that stuff. So the feel of these cards, about average. Durability, average. The texture is a little below average, just ever so slightly. There is a slight bend in the cards that doesn't really affect too much, but it is very, very minusculely affecting handling. The art style is very pleasing. I like it a lot for what it is. I know this was one of the not as expensive decks, and I think it might be a duo. The back design is so satisfying to me that I think this deck deserves an 8. Pretty much, you could play with it every day. It's a little bit fresh. It's consistent, but not boring. two of the same colors on the field, it just lowers our chances of going far drastically. Especially when we don't know when we do the 3-card pool instead. Sorry, I am tired. It feels like I tried saying something, but I missed adding like 2 sentences in between. Oh, here's another fun thing that is new since our last video, our Solitaire episode, I should say. So what I like to do sometimes is I go to an undisclosed location to hit some baseballs at night. And at that undisclosed location, I have a fair amount of resources to have fun. And at this spot, I set up my tee. I have a bucket of baseballs, and I can see how far I hit the ball. And if I set up a fence, it's about 340 feet away, about 10, 11 feet tall. And for the first time ever, I have cleared that fence on a line, or just a hard hit. And it was very cool doing that, because, for those of you who don't know, hitting off the tee is pretty much all raw generated power. And depending on your play style, like with almost anything, you can be a very small person and generate a lot of power. You can be a very large person and generate no power. So, despite what a lot of people may think, there is a huge amount of skill that goes into it. And what I'm trying to say is, right now, I don't have that much skill because I'm not practicing much. It was just power. And I probably hit that ball 355 feet off a tee. Just center cut. And it was so cool. Because throughout the night I felt myself being a little extra strong, twitchier, and having more drive in my swing. So I decided to record it, and I actually got me clearing it from my angle. It's pretty neat. Something I've never done, even at my best. Just having fun and seeing what happens. So I may be a nerd, but I still know how to swing it. Gosh, I just want to learn to throw harder, too, because I know I have a lot of potential. It's just that I'm all pretty much self-taught through hitting and pitching, fielding. But that's another thing altogether. Don't tell me. Okay, we're still alive. athletes in certain ways, and typically when I swing, it's in my hands. So there's extra skin here regardless, like there, all through there, fingertips and other spots, but I did lose a good chunk testing my power. And it's just silly when you're out there and the thoughts you have with yourself. It's like with great power comes great responsibility, that type of nerd stuff. And then just applying that to when you see athletes, queen, king, double jack, nowhere to go. Let's see how far we can stack. And that's it. Lots of good games, but not the outcomes we desire. I forget what I was getting at. Oh yeah, lack of skill and your body taking hits. And for me, it's in my hands. So I didn't do an episode for 2 days because of that. It looked pretty bad earlier. Alright, final game of the night, my friend. Another completely out of nowhere thought or statement. For whatever reason today, I decided to drink more liquids. So I've had probably 3 gallons of fluids. What's that, 5.5 liters or something? No. Way more, 14 liters of fluids. Triple Kings, Triple Ks, Circle K. So it's funny when I do that, and just how, playing this, a little sweat comes off the forehead. Usually I tell myself not to drink or eat before we have our videos for at least 3 hours. Did we get swept? We did not. But I have not done that in a while. This one time in high school, when I decided to lose a lot of weight, one summer, I was going ballistic. And in 1 week, I believe I drank 21 gallons of water on top of, probably a gallon or 2 a day of Arizona Diet Green ginseng tea. Gallons. And it was something. I always feel like I'm spewing bullcrap about that story, because I never give, the real details of it, or the full details, I should say. I give real details pleasant remainder of your night. Many sweet dreams. Stay safe.